What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, I gotta say, out of every single game I have ever covered, or mentioned at least on this channel, Insurgency Sandstorm, I think personally, is the most underrated game out there when it comes to first-person shooters. I've mentioned it so many different times, and this game has been out for ages. I've been playing since the very first Insurgency game was released. I have always loved this franchise. Since the beginning, it was always a very unique title that stood out from the rest of the crowd, gave you a more immersive, tactical, and realistic experience, while still maintaining an arcadey feel. Yet for some strange reason, this game, when it comes to popularity, is still nothing crazy. I mean, it definitely has a player base. Every single time I log onto this game, you will 110% find people playing. But when it comes to, everybody talking about it, wanting to make content about it, and just blowing up, next to other AAA developed games, it's never gotten that fame yet. And it's all possible as well. I know people are going to say, well, it's indie developed. It's not going to, get to that point where it's next to games like Call of Duty and Battlefield and, all these other franchises. But let's be real here. This day and age is the best time for indie developers to get their names out there. I mean, shoot, Escape from Tarkov started out as absolutely nothing. And it's now up there with the top dogs. It's just as big as games like Warzone or any of the Battlefields. And the funny thing is, current date, the AAA games, like I just said, Battlefield, are the games that are turning out like absolute crap. So now is better than ever for indie developers to really jump on things and make sure their games can pop off. And I truly do think Insurgency Sandstorm has everything to do so, but like I said, nobody wants to play it. And if you're one of those people who are still refusing to give this game a try, I promise you, it's one of those games that visually, watching gameplay, watching footage, clips, moments maybe, it might not do it for you, but actually immersing yourself in the experience of this game and playing it with your own hands, seeing it for yourself, is a whole different experience. It's much different than, going and watching Warzone on Twitch or, watching some other game that's extremely popular right now. No, that's not how you get into a game like this. You just truly have to sink your teeth into it. It is not an easy game to initially learn. But the best part about this title is that it's extremely casual and very laid back and enjoyable. And especially with the implementation of having game modes like Domination, it gives it a little bit more of a fast-paced twist. Yes, you can go play, I think it's called Push and Frontline. It gives you a much more realistic, hardcore experience. Don't expect many kills and expect tons of dying in those style of game modes. I mean, you can obviously come out on top, but it's much more campy and it's much more patient. But in Domination, it gives you those almost like Call of Duty style vibes while still putting you in a realistic, almost tactical milsim styled experience. It allows you to engage, find action instantly in a blink of an eye, rotate maps, get into amazing power positions, pretty much all the action minus the kill streaks and obviously some of the more chunkier health that you see in some of these Call of Duty titles. This is a very hardcore game, you got to keep that in mind. If you get shot in the face, you're done. Shoot, even if you get shot in the body, you're more than likely done. But another amazing thing about this game is the customization. You can go ahead and with points, choose what you want to put on your character. Now, once again, like I said, in games like Push or Frontline, once again, I hope I'm saying these game modes correctly. They're more realistic, it's a little bit harder, you don't get as many points, so you have to pick and choose what you really enjoy. So I wouldn't suggest going to those game modes unless you're a little bit more experienced in the game and you know what you want to rock. But Domination, like I said, if you just hop into a quick game of Dom, you get an endless amount of points. You can completely deck out your character, the weapons, the attachments, and like I said earlier, if you don't want to get one tap to the body, you can choose your armor rig, you can choose how much ammunition you bring into the battle. It's very in-depth and enjoyable, honestly, and I strictly stick to the Domination side of things. Even though I'm a very hardcore player of the whole franchise, I enjoy the freedom that Domination gives me. I love decking out guns. I'm a fan of, the Gunsmith system when it comes to Call of Duty. I wouldn't be mad if they brought back, the Pick 10 system and all the other things that people enjoy. But honestly, I love Gunsmith. I just like decking out guns. Not really for, performance things, but mostly for just cosmetic looks. And when you play Domination in Insurgency Sandstorm, you get all the points in the world to deck out your current weapon. Now, some weapons are more expensive since they're better, things to use, higher damage, maybe better fire rate, whatever it is, it might be harder to obtain, and you might have to use less attachments or mess around with your classes. But once again, It's more lenient with the point system. You're not going to be restricted as much as it is in the other more hardcore modes out there. And another thing that makes Insurgency Sandstorm such a awesome experience is it has voice chat. Unlike other games out there like Battlefield 2042, without voice chat, this game has it. But what makes it so special is its proximity chat. So I can talk to anybody in the lobby, especially the enemies, if they're close enough to me, which really adds for engaging, interesting, and just exciting, hilarious moments to have within the game. If you're playing solo, you can totally hear out a whole plan the enemies are trying to form out and where they're trying to hide and where they're going if they're not paying enough attention to their surroundings, and you could easily flank them and piece them out little by little with just the information you gained by listening to the enemy team. Or you could just have a blast using it. You don't just have to, abuse it to hear people. You can use it to engage with other players and have a good experience. Laugh it up, bash people. If you know someone's camping in a building and playing like a wimp, you can go ahead and call them out. You can stand outside the building and start screaming at them and shouting at them, and they'll probably engage back with you. That's just how this community is. It's hilarious. And even though the community isn't always at its highest point, there are, areas where I get into a few lobbies where you have some really ignorant people, which usually I just don't engage with, but it just sucks that those type of individuals still have to be, lingering around here in the gaming realm. But it's fine. It's fine. Like I said, if you just move on and you try to search for a different lobby, you'll eventually get something really good with people who are just genuinely trying to have a good, fun time. At the end of the day, if there was one game that I could reliably suggest to people who ask me for a new FPS experience, people who are tired of the same old bullcrap from the Call of Duty franchise and the Battlefield franchise screwing us over as well, and on top of that, all these other AAA developed games are being released incomplete, half-assed, and no content, everything is turning out awful right now. And reliably, without a doubt, any second of the day, full price or on sale, it doesn't matter. The one game I can always suggest is Insurgency Sandstorm, no matter what. Like I said, I've been playing this game since the very first introduction, and I have religiously returned back to this franchise no matter what game I've ever been playing. When Call of Duty fails me, when Battlefield fails me, when any other game out there that I'm hyping up and I get excited for absolutely fails me, this game has always been there for me. It's always just as good. They are consistently adding in more content all the time, and every time I come back to this game, it almost feels like a new, refreshing experience. And to be completely honest with you, compared to any other indie developed game out there, I've mentioned many, like Squad, Hell Let Loose, we've talked about everything basically. I even love Escape from Tarkov, which I love way more than this game right here. But when it comes to smoothness and how well the game actually plays, this game beats Escape from Tarkov. It beats any other indie-developed FPS experience that I could possibly think of. And even if you don't want the fast-paced action that Domination has, you can still get a more Battlefield-style gameplay when you switch over to push or frontlines. Like I said, it just takes a little bit more skill and play time to understand those game modes, which I suggest playing Domination first. But if you want that experience, then by all means go to it. It's there for you, it plays amazing, and it gives you a much more realistic approach of the game, which a lot of people want out of it. But this game right here, especially if you're trying to get into, milsims or tactical shooters, this should be your number one pick. Yes, Hell Let Loose, Squad, World War III, all those games are fantastic. They play amazing. I have a blast in all of them, and I suggest those games to anybody out there as well. But if you really are fresh into the scene and you need a introduction way, I think this is the best way possible. Like I said, it's very casual. The community isn't, a sweat fest. You're not going to be hopping into the most competitive thing you've ever seen. It doesn't have a stupidly hard learning curve like some of these milsims do, like Squad or Hell Let Loose, but it still introduces you into that style of play where, it's very hardcore tactical, one-shot headshots, 1 to 2 shots to the body. You have to play a little bit more strategically. It introduces you to that play style without taking it way too hardcore. It's the perfect in-between. Like I said, I personally think it should be in everybody's everybody's library. It's on console and it's on PC. There's no excuse to not have this game. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. Bones, I hate it. Leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with this two ways to do so. I have a Twitter and a Discord, both are down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games and over on Twitch. I'll link that in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.